Welcome back, and we're all the way through now to the 2024 off season. We got 2 seasons done, really, really good progress along the way. Obviously we finished 95 and 67. The postseason didn't go as planned. Obviously, to lose, you losing the division series to the Astros wasn't ideal, but I take that as a win. That season was, really, really positive. Obviously, you went through a lot last season. The fan interest has spiked massively. Obviously, mainly due to the improvement of the team and also bringing in a few fan favourites alongside that as well. I have scouted the first set here of international showcase players. I mean, I would go through every player here, but there's not much point because we will go over all the signings later on in the video anyway. So I'll just sort of get them scouted month to month. But the plan really is I collected up a little bit of a short list. I will sort of go through it a bit more, but we saw who the free agents were, and if I want, this is what's this here? This is the national and local popularity players. Went through all this, and there's not really any massive free agents. Right? I mean, you got Brandon Woodruff, you got Justin Verlander, but are we in the market for any of these? Being the Oakland A's, I mean, it's not really realistic. As much as we've had a couple of really good seasons, we still have the 27th budget. We're not going to go in for any of these big free agents. And the main thing is, I looked through the team, and our oldest player is 31. Every single other player on our major league roster is under 30. We need to save money to tie these guys up to long-term contracts. We're not in a position where we need to be bringing in loads of big-time free agents. That's never going to be us. So as much as it didn't turn out great for us in the postseason, I'm not against and opposed to really just sort of running it back again with the similar roster we've got constructed at the moment. Our bullpen was absolutely phenomenal, same as our starting pitching. We don't need to make too many changes to this at all, if any. Realistically, if something crops up and something arises that we can sort of go through on, we can do that. But I've also had a look through here, and realistically, we got Langoliers and Tresh, phenomenal bat at catcher. Realistically, his defense, is it good enough to start? I'm not too sure. We got Shea Langoliers as well, who was disappointing last year, but I've heard high hopes for him at least. We have Oscar Colas and Tolia at first base, but we also in AAA, giving some other guys a chance this year. We still have Tyler Soderstrom as well, who batted phenomenally in AAA. It's great in AAA. We also have Daniel Susac, who was really really solid in AA here. He can come in. He plays good defense at the catching position, well, passable defense. Not much different to Tresh really, but he can come in and be a really solid bat for us at catcher. If Langoliers doesn't perform. So he's always one to look for the future. We've also got Schofield Sam, third baseman, Angeles, second baseman, Max Muncy, third baseman, Castagnosi and Jack Mosser came up from AA. We got Davison De Los Santos, who's going to have to go on the 40-man roster, along with Schofield Sam. Some really, really good infield prospects here. Along with Hernandez, who I can't see getting replaced anytime soon, really, if his performances stay the way they have been. Also, we've got Austin Martin as well. Zach Geloff and Chapman. As much as we've got De Los Santos and Max Muncy, I don't see any room for them making the roster at third base. Matt Chapman and Geloff, there's just no room whatsoever, really. And then obviously shortstop, we got Gage Workman. Obviously, we don't have any shortstops here, but realistically, the weakness is the outfield. There's no trouble, no issues with our infield whatsoever. We have really, really top players who can come up and produce for us, as well as, you know, the options we already have there anyway. It's quite tight. It's the outfield really. But even at that, you know, it's not that I feel like we have a, you know, a major weakness there. Obviously, Capel was an all-star the season before last. Be more than happy with him coming back and, you know, hopefully, you know, replicate more of what he done in the 2023 season rather than in 24. Bellinger as well, still hopeful he can sort of start to reproduce from his old self, really. Gorski was okay, you know, close to league average at right field, whilst playing really good defence there, but was great in the postseason. I know obviously that's limited games. There's only one series really, but really hopeful for him. He can turn it around next season. He's still only 26. He'll be 27 next season. Obviously, Estru Ruiz, really solid option in centre field. Wasn't quite what he was in 23, but hopefully he can bounce back. And obviously we've got Johnny DeLuca at left field as well. So, you know, I'm not disappointed with our outfield by all means. You know, it still is a really solid outfield, but that is the weakness for us. You know, there's nothing we need to do in terms of our pitching, and obviously we've got Carson Montgomery in AA alongside Azilo, and you know, when those guys come up, those are the players I'm looking to hand long-term contracts to if they can produce to what we think they can. Also, we've got Paulinho here as well. Paulinho, I mean, he needs to come up to AAA really. But yeah, I say they need to come up to AAA. Realistically, some of those guys, they're gonna have a major shot of making the opening day roster. So we've got Colas and Tolia here as well. But you know, even Colas can play right field. So, you know, if Gorski isn't doing it for us, we know Colas can provide the bats. And he's a decent passable right fielder as well. He's got a great arm out there, so there's definitely options for us to take in terms of getting some of these AAA bats opportunities. Obviously, we've got Clark Elliott here as well. Really good guy in the minors. You know, 4.1 WAR in high A last year. Came up to AA, 126 OPS plus. Really solid there. So it's start of the year in AAA. But, you know, maybe we'll give him a chance in spring training. But there's just so many bats here. And obviously, in terms of our pitching, we got a couple of guys here. Maybe we need to bring in a bit more depth in terms of our pitching. We got John Schreiber down here. But I did actually make a little bit of a... That's one of the players actually here. Is there a filter on? What am I on? Targets, that's it, sorry. So in terms of, you know, players to bring in, I have a couple of players that I've added to this. A lot of these are players from last season, and as you can see, you know, most of them have turned out really quite well actually here, made the majors. So go show the scouting that I did do of the players in the sort of upper minors last year. Really turned out. I mean, you got Nate Pearson here. I wouldn't mind adding. You know, his potentially wouldn't be worth a whole lot. Because he had an ERA of 5.79. His ERA plus was, you know, well below league average, but his FIP was fantastic. So he's getting a lot of bad luck really there. You know, he had 520 BABIP. You know, that's never going to continue. So he'll definitely be someone I'll be looking to bring in potentially. Brandt Herter here as well. The only issue with this is he is another lefty starter. You know, we have plenty of lefties in the bullpen already. And starting, we got Muller. Obviously, JP Sears as well. But he was fantastic last year, so he's potentially someone I could look to bring in. You know, all of these players were very achievable to get as well, which is the main reason they're on here. You know, I could give up players that, you know, I'd be willing to give up for these guys. Carl Nicholas was one of those. He was actually, I could get in a package for both. I could get both Carl Nicholas, who was the number 57 prospect here, and, you know, a starter. Realistically, alongside, where is he? He doesn't seem to be on it. I believe it was one of the trades I had set out on the trading block. Yes, so it was Austin Martin for Nicholas and Hunter Barco. So Hunter Barco, I add him to the targets. So yes, I mean realistically that trade is a really really good trade I'd be willing to make. He hasn't been fantastic in the minors, but great potential as a pitcher, starting pitcher. He's only 23. He'll be 24 for the start of next season. Um, as well as that, obviously going through some of these bats as well. Mainly I'm looking for outfielders here. Brenton Doyle, I think he's on from last year. Great, limited time in the majors this year, but over AAA, 2 years on the trot, he's a 120 OPS plus to a 130 OPS plus, 44 and 39 home runs. He's one of those players, alongside Gorski, I would be more than happy to bring in. I mean, I don't know what it would take to get hold of him here, and not a whole lot, if I'm honest. I'll be more than happy with letting go of some of these players here to bring Doyle in, just as a depth option more than anything. Even if he doesn't make the roster, maybe it'd take a couple of players put together, but really really happy with that. But the main couple of guys, before I move on to them, Schwellenbach as well, another player I'm looking at in terms of sort of bringing in as a pitcher, and then this guy, Isaac Pacheco. The Washington Nationals have an absolutely phenomenal team in terms of some great prospects coming up to the majors. They'll probably bring them up a little bit too early for my liking, but hasn't been fantastic by any means. But other than in AA here, fantastic in AA to finish out 2023. Came up, started off AA here, and he was amazing again, 175 OPS plus, and then was solid in AAA before coming up to the majors. Probably way too early to come up to the majors there. Really, he's age 21, but potential this guy's got on his bat is fantastic. The only issue is being a third baseman, and he could probably play second base. Although I wouldn't mind actually bringing him in the outfield here. Actually, if this bat does come around, he could be someone we could bring in just to play in the outfield. Realistically, he's much better against righties than he is against lefties, so he's someone I've been looking at. And then the last guy here is actually Hayden Junger. I had him on my shortlist from last year, I believe, but I believe it was last year at least. He looks absolutely unreal. 2.7 WAR out of the bullpen here. Hasn't started any games. Got 8 losses, only 3 wins here. Obviously, that's it's not his fault. But striking out 13.6 batters per 9. Great fit minus. But what I will do in terms of things, I'll probably sort of advance a fair bit of the way through the off season. There's no one I'm really looking at in terms of free agency. As much as we do have plenty of money, I just don't see that being us. I want to try and conserve some of that money because if players have start to have a good season, we want to get those long-term contracts in as early as possible. So I'm looking to conserve my money for that. But obviously really happy with how where the team's at anyway. We've got plenty of options at each position. Even if we don't bring anyone in, I'd be perfectly happy with this. Having these players to comprise to sort of go with into next season, along with our guys in AAA who will be coming up and getting an opportunity in spring training. So what I will do is I'll advance for a little bit. I'll let you know and note of any trades I do make and any changes I make, and then I'll come back to you there. Potentially not going to get anything done in free agency, so I'm not entirely sure when I jump back, but potentially at the start of next year. But I'll jump back to you then. Right, so I'm back already here, and I haven't advanced today. I've got 3 trades done here. The realistically quite major trades. Well, I say major. They're players that I wanted to bring in at least. But if we go into the trades here, I've actually given up a fair bit for these guys. The first one, not so much. It was only for Brenton Doyle here. He'd only played, had 30 plate appearances last year in the majors, 138 OPS plus. So limited sample size, yes. but I'm mainly going off of what he's done in AAA the past 2 seasons. Pretty much, 40 homers both years is incredible to see, really. So I'm hoping, if Gorski doesn't have a good spring training, maybe Brenton Dorr can become an option for us there. He's a very good right fielder as well. So I'm really, really happy to bring him in, but he's probably the least coveted player we did bring in. The second one here, so this trade, as you see, we traded away Austin Martin, who realistically, yes, he didn't have a great first season in the majors last year, but he was phenomenal in AAA. He was phenomenal in AAA the year before as well. This could come back to hurt us, really, because he is a really, really good player and a great utility option, a great player just to have on your Major League roster, really, because he can come in and cover any of these options. But the main thing with that is that we have so many infielders anyway. He's on the wrong team realistically to do that job, and we have so many other people who can do the same job. Obviously, you can bring up Muncy, Castagnosi, any of those players. So I was happy to trade him away, but obviously, great pickup by the Nationals here. But they also did get Tyler Soderstrom, so the player who was our number one prospect at the A's when we took over, and was really, really looking good until he came up to the majors and he was terrible last year. I mean, yeah, he's been great in the minor leagues. The whole of 2023, whole of 2024, he just realistically, if I'm honest, even looking back at this now, I haven't really given him enough of a chance really in the majors. So this could come back to hurt us massively as well. Great pickup for the Nationals as well. They did actually need a first baseman, someone of his pedigree as well. But we did get back Isaac Pacheco here, who is a phenomenal pickup. This guy looks incredible. He's a captain as well. Yes, that's why they're slightly down on him. Similar to Soderstrom. Negative WAR last year, 78 OPS plus in the majors. Wasn't that great. AAA, great. AA, incredible last year. But incredible for AA here. But we're not going to play him in the infield. We are going to retrain him potentially to play left field or right field here. He's an incredible bat, and he's only 22 years of age. So was really, really happy to bring him in. In terms of if you're thinking, because this is a really good player. Obviously, yes, we did give up Austin Martin and Tyler Soderstrom, who are really, really good players themselves. But from the Nationals' perspective, if we have a look at them, they got a great team. They got Luis Garcia right field, James Wood centre field, left field Dylan Cruz. But in the infield, obviously they have Pacheco, who's a shortstop, and he could play realistically third baseman, second baseman. But they have Armando Cruz, already one of the best defensive shortstops there is, number 68 prospect, and only 20 years age. Shouldn't be in the majors in my opinion, but great player to look out for. They got Jordan Westberg at third base as well, who had a 128 OPS plus and 4 WAR last year, and then CJ Abrams at second base, who didn't play last year due to injury, but the last full season he played, he had put up over 6 WAR. So they're looking really, really good. They didn't, Menezes, 32-year-old first baseman, who wasn't good. So they're looking for a first baseman. Obviously brought in Soderstrom, who could potentially offer something for them. As well as that, they've got Austin Martin, who can come in and back up in these positions here. In terms of, why they didn't also, just retrain him as a left fielder or right fielder, they've got Dylan Cruz out here in left field, 22 years of age, number 49 prospect. And then right field, they got Luis Garcia here, who's been a really, really solid player for them. Obviously James Wood as well. He looks incredible, by the way. Again, bringing up players too early in my opinion, but really, really solid team there. But yeah, that's who we brought in there, as well as one more player who, Morales here. We traded away Luis Morales, who is the number 95 prospect in baseball. One of our top prospects. starting pitcher, and we traded him for along with Garrett Acton here, who really solid bullpen piece. He just hasn't got a chance with us yet, but we traded them for Hayden Younger, who realistically, in my opinion, can be one of the best relievers and closers in all of the major leagues here. On what we're seeing here, as well as the numbers he put up last year, he could be incredible for us. Obviously, we have the incredible bullpen already, but you've always got to look to improve, and hopefully we can be even better again next year. We also added Dario Gardea here, just another piece to add in. We'll see what you can do, but I'm really, really happy with those moves we made. Obviously, Hayden Younger and Brenton Doyle as well all come in to the major league roster here. Obviously, when we make the Rule 5 draft as well, there may be a couple of players I will be looking to pick up. Also, Ryan Cusick as well. I had him listed as a starter, but I think he can be a great reliever for us here in the bullpen. He's 25 now, so we'll potentially give him a chance next year in spring training at least to see what he can do. We're probably going to look to, obviously, we don't want to lose any of these players. We'll probably add Schofield Sam to the 40-man, same as Cusick and Paulinho and Dos Santos, which takes us up to 37. So, as much as if there's free agents out there, we don't have much space as it is. We'll probably look to maybe bring in a couple of players in the Rule 5, but dependent on what's available for us. But really happy with how this roster's coming along. We're a really young team. Obviously, again, bringing in even more young players. Obviously, brought in Pacheco as well. He will play as a left fielder, I believe, though. He's got good enough defense to do it. He's a captain as well. I mean, the bat here is insane. I don't think he's quite got the range to even play right field, though. I'll probably stick with Gorski and Brenton Doyle there. They got a bit better range, great arms on them, and hopefully their bats come around. But as well as that, obviously we got Johnny DeLuca now, and all-star Connor Capel as well in left field. So we got plenty of competition. Really happy with how the outfield's looking. I know we only made we brought in a couple of players, obviously Pacheco and Doyle, but free agency isn't what we are ever going to use to improve our team as it is anyway. So really happy with that. Obviously Hayden Youngers came in as well. It's looking really good. And then obviously alongside that as well, we look at our upper minors here. We got De Los Santos, Paulinho, Cusick, Moss, Castagnosi, Muncy, Schofield Sam, Susak. We've even got Angeles, who wasn't good last year, but in Double A last year he was incredible. He's looking good in Triple A. He's just had an off year this season, so hopefully he can sort of rebound a little. And then obviously Isaiah Lowe and Montgomery are two top pitching prospects who would potentially look to come up at the end of this year. If not, it'd be the start of next season. But obviously Paulinho, I keep on forgetting, he's the number 16th prospect in baseball, so really he is someone we should be looking out for. But all of these guys here will get a chance in spring training to see what they can do. Danny DeAndre's actually already up at Double A here, and he's only 20 years of age, which is really good to see. But I'm loving how the minor league system's coming along for us. Aiden Harris is looking great down here as well. Was good in rookie ball last year actually. 110 OPS plus, but he's only 18 years of age. I don't want to rush him too much. He'll be what he would have just turned 19 when the season finishes next year. So happy to give him another year in rookie ball before moving him up to A ball, seeing what he can do from there. Noah Sheffield as well wasn't good in rookie ball, but he's got some great batting ratings that can hopefully come through if he reaches his potential. But what I will do is I will now just advance through probably to next year at least, maybe to the international showcase, unless anything sort of major happens from there. Sorry, ignore that. To the Rule 5 draft at least, and then we'll see if we can pick anyone up in the Rule 5. We're at the Rule 5 draft now, and before we jump into anything here, I do just want to say, all the money we've been pumping into player development here. Obviously, I know that was the main thing I talked about. Pumping up so we can start producing really, really top players here. I've requested my scout to sort of target and go through and scout all of our top prospects again. And as you can see here, there's been a few noticeable changes. Some players have developed massively. Notably here, Jack Moss. He looks incredible, and realistically, even this year now, he could be our first baseman. He got picked this year, had 2 games in rookie ball, didn't get a hit, but put him straight up to AA because he was good enough for coming out of college. He's an older player, he's 23 already, but was lights out in AA, and he has developed. And he is already, realistically, our best first baseman. He's got 80 potential. Our scouts. Look at this. So, yes, September he developed, but in December when I got another scouting report, his contact ratings, his power, everything, he's gone up massively. Massive player to look out for now to make that's the thing, I didn't go out and buy, purchase any free agents, hand out any big contracts, and that is why, we relied on our development. We have a great minor league system of, players who can really come up and contribute. Even Daniel Susak here, his eyes improved, he's up to 55 potential, so many players have improved. It's absolutely massive. And now we're gonna have to try and squeeze a few players onto the 40-man roster here. De Los Santos has got to go on. Before I move on to that though, anyway, first, Isaiah Lowe here may well be one of the best pitchers I've ever seen in this game. He's only played as high as high A. And in December we scouted him. His stuff's improved. His potential stuff's gone to 80. Current movement's got jumped by 10. Hopefully the movement can come up potentially as well. The stamina has dropped, which is a shame. But it's still at 50 stamina, which is passable. And, our scout at 21 years old, he believes he can anchor a rotation here. And not just that, but Carson Montgomery, if we jump into here, he also believes he can anchor the rotation. So we have 2 aces. His velocity's gone up, his, stuff, his potential movement. He's looking like a really, really good pitcher here. Hopefully his changeup does develop as well. But I'm really, really happy with our development. And the health of what this organisation is looking like now is absolutely incredible. Pacheco did come down a little bit from scouting him. But still, obviously, somebody's going to really contribute for us this year, I would imagine at least. But obviously, we've got Hayden Junger as well. His overall dropped, only as a starter though, so it doesn't make much difference to us. But I'm really, really happy with how our roster's looking now. Tresh as well, contact and potential contact's gone up. But before I do move on from here, I do want to just jump into my leagues, because as well as that, there's a lot of players who have jumped up here as well. Now Sheffield has jumped up to 70 potential. Shortstop, he's never going to be a shortstop. He's a second baseman, third baseman. Can he play the outfield? Yes. More of a utility guy, but he could play in any one of those positions if the bat does develop. Lorenzo Carrier as well, this guy. He's came out of absolutely nowhere. He was our 3rd round pick. He has made a massive jump here in December. His contacts jumped massively. His current contact, current power, current eye. All of these things here. Now, potentially these guys are going to look to be able to start in Abel actually now. If I go and have a look, I mean, yeah, Lorenzo Carrier, Carrier's got to come up to A. Abel here, he has to start there, but Landon Maraudis as well, obviously the two-way player we did select, coming along as a third baseman. The pitching, the movement isn't quite there, but hopefully that does develop as well, because if you can offer two-way presence, that'd be really, really good for us. But really, really happy with how the development's coming along. I mean, just have a little look. Is anyone else who could potentially go up? I mean, but Bolt, Aravalo, Moylan, all could realistically get away with it. It's just, what is the space looking like? Because we have a lot of... It looks like I'm going to have to go through the whole minor league system again, if I'm honest. I did move Mo Hampton out. I mean, he's good enough. I need to sort of go through and realistically cleanse the team. We have too much talent now, I think. Not too much. That's never an issue. But, the development has really done its wonders here. Obviously, George Wolko, Brooks Wrights came up as well. Back from 45 up to a 50. Duke Ekstrom as well is looking really quite good here as a pitcher. Obviously, you've got Mercedes, Arias, Melendez, Malinax, some really, really top players in the minor league system. Probably gonna have to move a few players up from Able into High A, and then up from the rookie teams into Able to start the year. But really, really happy with that. But moving on to the Rule 5 draft now. So what I will do is looking to players we don't want to lose. I mean, like TJ Rumfield, obviously we traded for before. He's really not turned out well for us. So as well as, players turning out, we had a lot of development and a lot of players turn out for us. A few players have dropped off, which is a shame to see. But players we don't want to lose. Realistically, with the batting profile, he could be taken. Yes, he's got a low overall, but I don't want to lose to Santos. Paulinho as well, only a 30 overall, but he's the number 16 prospect, and he, smashed double A last year. He could do a job in the majors, so I don't want him to be taken. I'll move him into the 40-man. Schofield Sam as well, looking really, really good. He was just a player who was not on my radar at all when we started this. 12th round pick in 2019 by the A's, and he's really, really turned out well for us. So I'm going to add him to the 40-man, as well as Gardea as well here, who we picked up. And probably one more, maybe Ryan Cusick as well, just because he does look very, very good as a reliever. Not quite as good as earlier on, actually. Hasn't had any real change in his rating, so just in his general overall. So that doesn't really make any difference to us. So we'll probably stick him on the 40-man as well. But I'm happy to lose Shoemake, as much as he's a good utility guy and backup piece to have in AAA. Same as Jordan Diaz. The development of how much our teams came along, they just can't really offer anything for us anymore. Happy with everything else, so we'll jump straight into the Rule 5 draft here. Right, so wow, okay. Cody Morris, he looks great. Wow. Okay. So Emmanuel, I have no idea why he's been lit, onto the Rule 5 draft and hasn't been has been taken off the 40-man here. But he looks incredible. Harry Ford as well, actually. I wouldn't mind picking up if he is still available for us. Some really, really, really good players here, actually, that are available. Wow. Jordan Adams, who's really, really good in AAA last year. Outfield, obviously outfield is our primary weakness, but we do have Estru Ruiz in centre field with Bellinger as backup, so some really, really great players actually available in this year's Rule 5. It's quite a shame we don't have much space available, because if this Rule 5 draft was available with the team we had at the start of this series, I would be picking up most of these players here. Wow, okay. He seems very, very good as well. Great change up. Starter as well, actually. I say, great stamina. Let me just double check. We don't have anyone we don't want to lose. I'm okay with Estes and Rumfield being available. Yeah, Diaz, Goldberg. I mean, he is a good player, Goldberg, great utility man, but he wasn't good in AAA last year, so I don't want to waste a 40-man spot on him. So I'm going to auto draft until next pick. See who's available. Wow, okay. So almost everybody is available. This guy got taken, Franny Kobos. Framil Reyes. Wow, Jared Kelenic. Really is surprised to see him here, actually. Obviously, I know in real life this year he's done very, very well to start the year off. He would have been probably a player I would have looked to pick up sort of at the start of the series, really. It's just sort of a reclamation project. But, so we see Harry Ford available. OSA is a lot lower on him than we are. Our scout's very high on him there. He was great in AA last year, but would he make the, realistically we're asking him to start over Shea Langoliers, and I don't know about that. Emmanuel Mejia, though, he starts in a bullpen every day of the week. He makes the Major League roster. Have to take him. There's no way I can pass on him. And fan interest goes up as well. So he was a very popular player. So a bonus there, really. So we'll advance to the next pick. We got one more space on our 40-man roster. No more picks got selected. So it's only one pick. But, with what's available here is really surprising to see that there's only a couple of picks selected. Don't know why he was down and able unless he's had massive development. This Armenta guy could even potentially be a starter in the long run. It depends how much his stuff would drop if you set him to a starter. He wasn't good in AA in 2023. Brought down. Probably should have been brought back up if I'm honest at 24. But just trying to think. Is there anyone else I would like? Basabe, not enough power. I mean, we don't need any first baseman. Anyway, the only players. I mean, Armenta is. I don't know whether to just take him. If he doesn't make the 40-man here, we can. And if he doesn't make the Major League roster, we can just release him. But I don't know whether I'm better off taking someone like Jordan Adams here, who's going to play solid defense. He was great in AAA. But it's whether he would make the roster over Ruiz, who I don't think, as much as he didn't finish the season last year very well, I'm not entirely sure. Harry Ford here is another one. You know what? Just because he's got England as a secondary nation here, I might actually take a shot on Harry Ford. He's only 21. If he doesn't pan out, so be it. But he's 21. Oof. Nick York looks great here. I will take Harry Ford, and that will be our final selection. Does our scout think we should take anyone? He actually believes we should take Brian Seven. Again, another catcher, but I'm going to skip this pick. And that should be the Rule 5 done. Right, so our 40-man roster here. is looking very, very strong. Very, very happy with how this is looking. I will actually get another scouting report on this. But what I will do is I'll probably advance now to probably the start of spring training. And, if anything happens between now and then, sorry, the start of spring training, I keep on forgetting I have stuff coming up. The international free agent signing, I will skip to that point and I'll jump back with you there. Obviously, I'll stop if anything does happen, but I don't believe it will. I'm very happy with how our rosters came along. More than happy with this being our 40 man for going into spring training, really. Back, and we're at the international free agent signing period now. So we can jump straight into that. But beforehand, I do want to run over this very quickly here. We've had a really good off season. We've had the number 5 off season here. Coming off of a season where we had a 95 and 67 record. And I think it does look a lot better than even, bringing in 1.1 WAR positive. I think it actually looks a lot better than that. If we run that down to this here, it doesn't actually show all the rest of the players, but obviously bringing in Pacheco and some of these other high upside players, Brenton Doyle, Mejia in the Rule 5, Junga as well, one of the best bullpen pieces in the league. Obviously, we lost Hyunjin Ryu, but we didn't lose any other real major pieces to our team, which is looking really, really positive. Actually, the only the only couple of the worries there are. It's not as much as a worry as such, but the Los Angeles Dodgers look absolutely phenomenal. Offensively, they're not incredible, but the bullpen here, the bullpen and the pitching is incredible. You've got Logan Webb, Julio Reyes, Bobby Miller, Kershaw, and Buehler. And then in the bullpen, when some of these players they got here is insane. A lot of them, obviously, due to development, they've, really, really came on here. This Sheehan looks incredible. As well as that, obviously, coming through some of their players, they've got Dustin May, Pepio as well in the bullpen. There might actually be a target for a trade at some point in the year. Pick up one of these players that are in the bullpen. If we give them a starting opportunity, they could be doing a lot better than what they are. Evan Phillips as well, their closer here, looks incredible. Matt Brash, they have traded for as well over the off-season. They've brought in... Their bullpen is insane. What a team. Obviously, I say, the offense isn't as great. It's not as good as the bullpen and the pitching by any means, because, that there's no touch in that, but... it's still a really good offense as well, some of the players in there. But the team that I was more worried about, because, we're not going to come up against the Dodgers all too often, is the Astros here. So if we go through, let's have a little look. So they picked up Max Fried. I say that mainly, they haven't really lost a whole lot that was contributing for them anyway. They picked up, positive 4 WAR. Looking for their team for next year, they got Javier, Max Fried, who had a great, great year. To bring him in is a really, really good pickup for them. They are paying him $30 million, though, over till 2030, 6 years. He does have a player opt out that I wouldn't imagine he would take. That is a great pickup, though, in terms of how he's performed over the past 3 years. You would imagine he would do something very similar for them. So it's a great pickup for them to put in straight into the rotation there. As well as that, their team is looking. You've got Liam Hendricks in there, Hunter Brown as their closer here. Looks very, very solid. Starter realistically, but they got, this team is incredible. Elias Diaz, they got Jordan Alvarez, Jose Abreu, Altuve, Bregman, Pena. It's still a really, really solid team here. Not great at centre field, but Kyle Tucker out there as well. However, the only thing I would say is, though, as much as they look very good, if they do have an older team, I'm very, very happy with how our team's coming along. We got a lot of very young pieces. Pacheco here is actually really came down in our scouts' estimation, unfortunately. His current ability and his potential ability has dropped, which is a shame to see. So maybe we did jump on that trade a little too early, but he still looks great to me at least. Obviously, Hayden Younger as well is looking incredible. Really, really happy with everything. And obviously, the thing is with us, we have this team here, but the players that are potentially going to be some of our best players, down our championship sort of years, Isilo, Montgomery, Jack Moss, even now potentially, their players are not even in the majors yet. So, really, really excited to see how this season plays out, and then potentially even the next year. I mean, if some of these who don't make it into the majors this season, I'm hoping to give most of these guys a chance. They've certainly got the potential, and they're all in AAA now. They have ability to do so. Maybe these guys might not, just in terms of sort of saving service time for them, but we'll see how it goes. But we'll jump into the international amateurs. I just wanted to sort of run through that with you guys, just sort of keep you set on what's going on in the majors, really, with our sort of rivals and other teams, really. Obviously it changes year to year, so it's good to sort of keep an eye on those things. But jumping into this now, so we're straight in the period, so I can offer out for some of these guys now. So in terms of the guys we have a very strong relationship with, these are all the guys we did bring in to sort of get a good look at them training wise. Some of these guys are really, really incredible bats on them. It's quite tough to find people who play good enough defense, I would say. Bustos here is a great corner outfielder though. I would definitely consider him. In terms of the pitching though, you got Edgar Montoya here, Luis Guerrero. So that is probably the main guy I'll be looking to pick up actually here. Luis Guerrero, he throws, he has 5 really, really good pitches here potentially. Sorry, 6 really good pitches potentially. So I think he is someone we have to target with, most of our money here really. So whatever he wants, he only wants 1.3 million, so we'll offer him straight away with that. We have 5.92 million though, so we have plenty of money to spend. Nelson Ojeda here looks very, very good. Line drive hitter. Ideally though, do I prefer Bustos? I think so. I might actually prefer Salgado as well, actually. Could be a really, really good right fielder. Doesn't have the range for centre field, unfortunately. What is other? Yeah, he can't play the infield. How much do they want? So we offered 1.3 out. Delgado wants a bit more. What about Husman? So Husman here, I'm going to straight up offer for him actually. He wants 750k. That takes us to what, 2.05 million I think we've offered out, yes. And then what I will do is maybe offer for another pitcher here. Guerrero we've already offered for. Domingo Ramos. Good personality. Cisneros. Don't like the stuff. As much as he has great pitches actually. And extreme ground ball pitcher. I might consider him. What about Montoya? I think, you know what? I'm going to offer for Montoya 2 million. That gives us 1.8 to spend. I think I'm going to offer for Cisneros here. As much as the stuff wasn't great, he does throw a lot of pitches, and he is an extreme ground ball. So hopefully he doesn't need that. So we'll advance through to hear back from those. So Montoya's already got a higher offer from the Royals. Let's offer him whatever he would like. Perfect. So Husband signed. That's our first international free agent signed. 17 years old, German, which is quite an odd one to see. Cisneros is signed actually as well. I did not see that, which is great. So we will get a scout report on him as well. Two 17-year-olds. Luis Guerrero, though, is the main guy I did want. So I will offer him more money, which is a shame because I cannot. So I might actually, if we go to Salgado and Morales has actually been signed as well. Didn't bring them in. Right, so pending offers. No, it is Guerrero we would like, not rather than Montoya. So I'm actually happy to leave Montoya for now because I would. Right, let's go on to Guerrero here. 2 million. We really want to bring him in, really, no matter what the cost is. Cisneros. Scout's happy with him. Husband's up to an 80. Potential ability here. Scout thinks he can be a multiple all-star. I mean, the minor league system and the farm system for us is looking incredible. Right, what does he want now? 2.6. Give him whatever he would like. Come on, that should get it done. Pre-season actually is just about to start as of tomorrow. Oh, wow, okay. That's a massive shame. Just because Guerrero looks... he looks so damn good, if I'm honest. Even OSA is higher than we are. I mean, I know their scouting accuracy is low. But, that's I mean, he's only 16 years of age. So, I don't need to get too caught up on it. So, in terms of other players that are available, we do have plenty of money available. We're going to have to go for Montoya then. Who isn't a bad... let's just go 3 point... This is offer all of our remaining budget for that. Just get hold of Montoya. Financial update. So we've actually got our team budget raised by another 14 million. Which is great news. Obviously, we're up to 25th. We're the 25th highest budget. So by, we are a small market team still. We don't have a high budget. But, with the amount of money we've got here... scheduled for salaries down the line. We're really going to be able to make, put long-term contracts to some of our, prospects that are going to come up, which is really, really good to see actually. And as well as that, keep hold of, some of our really, really top bullpen pieces are going to demand a lot more money when it comes to arbitration because they've had some great years. Zach Jackson as well. He's going to be up at nearly 10 million a year. So, and it would actually be nice to sort of get a few of these guys for a few more years on top of their arbitration. So, obviously Geloff down here as well. And we've got a lot of players. We're going to have to lose some of them, I would imagine, in the long run. But let's just get that confirmation from Montoya. I don't think we can offer him any more, which is really frustrating. That's another player gone. Right. So where is the international free agency? Off-season centre. International amateur free agency. Right. Looks like we're going to pick up Domingo Ramos. The next option here, he wants 2.1. I think that's okay. And the other option here is Nelson Ojeda, who actually has a really good personality here. Don't like the eye potential. Hopefully that does come up. And I'll offer him 1.4. Really quite disappointed about, losing two of the two top pitchers there that were available. Luca Tress is falling, actually. Just a little. It won't make too much of a difference, just the contact. It actually only recently came up. Right. Let's get these players signed. For God's sake. Can we offer him enough? Nope. Domingo Ramos has accepted another offer from another team as well. Not accepted, sorry, he prefers one. What I will do is I'll probably just skip. I'll run through, get another couple of guys signed, and I'll sort of come back to you when I've got that finished, probably at the start of spring training there. So I will do that, and I'll jump back to you then. We're at the start of spring training here, 27th of Feb. Just in terms of going over who I got signed up in the international free agency, there was not really many options available, if I'm honest. I got this Juan Garcia signed up for, if I go to his history, sorry, only 200,000 just as a pitching piece. Hopefully he does develop and improve from where he's at. He has a knuckle curve as well, which is quite nice. Picked him up. Garcia. As well as that, I did pick up Daniel Figueroa. Just one of the few pitchers that was left available, if I'm honest. A lot of the players that I did originally like did go. We still got, obviously, some of our previous pieces. Obviously, Palafox down here. Cisneros we did sign, obviously. Looking really, really good. Cambrellum from last year as well. I might well move him up to the Dominican Rookie League at some point, because he is 18 now, but he has not really developed at all, which is a shame. Ojeda as well, we did sign. Great personality, looking really, really good actually for the future. Again, isn't a centre fielder though, probably more of a left fielder, right fielder. Corner outfielder along with Husman here, who actually looks really, really good. Great pickup actually, really high work ethic. Low greed, high loyalty. And then in terms of the spring training here, so I want to run over quickly Grant Holman, who was obviously a number 84 prospect for us last year. In my scout's opinion, he's actually developed even more. His slider, sinker and splitter can actually improve from where it's at again. The stuffs came up slightly, so is the control, I believe, did come up, and the velocity. So velocity jumped up, the control and stuff, and as well as those pitches as well. It didn't show there, but those were not at 65 potential, I believe. So really, really good to see in regards to him. Could be a good starting pitcher for us. So in terms of obviously the pitching, I did just set it as letting the manager sort of decide how it goes really with this. He's got Nabil Krismat as the sixth starter. He's actually got Salinas starting for us, who obviously we always knew he could potentially be a starter, but he's been a bullpen piece for us. Still looking like a really, really good starter eventually, if he does hit his potential there. But we'll see what sort of job he does. Carson Montgomery's came in. He's actually got him starting as well. Even at his age, realistically, he's going to probably be starting in AA, AAA. And then Isaiah Lowe, he's actually got as our ace, even right now. I mean, I know the ratings are there, so we'll see. Well, if I'm honest, I'll see how they go. They could start this year for us. So we'll see how it goes in spring training. They've actually got Zach Jackson not as our closer, which when it gets to the regular season, I'm sure I will just start him as our closer, if I'm honest. There's no way he can lose that role after the season he had last year. Obviously being reliever of the year and making the All-Star team. I cannot replace him in that role. As much as Adam Lucas is a really, really good pitcher himself as well, though. and a lot younger as well, actually. So, but in terms of the lineup here, so I've gone through here, sort of, assessed sort of lefties and righties here. We got Hanaya's leading off against both, looking really, really good there. Hanaya's. We got Brenton Doyle actually looks really, really good. In terms of his batting ratings here, great against lefties. Still really good against righties there as well. And then obviously we've got Gage Workman, Geloff, Pacheco. Jack Moss is starting against righties here in spring training, so we'll see what he can do. There's a lot of players who are given opportunities. Susak as well, actually, is a much better bat than Langoliers. But what I will say is, Langoliers is going to start every third game. Harry Ford's getting time. All of these players are going to get time over spring training to see what they can do. I probably should get Schofield Sam some more time, really, actually. If I move him to a left fielder. The only thing is, we got DeLuca, Capel, Pacheco. I don't really. We got so many good players. I don't really know where a lot of them are going to fit in. They might well just have to do another season in AAA, and probably throughout the season, I'm sure they'll get an opportunity as well. Though, if one does open up, they can pop up and we can see what they can do. But realistically, I'm probably going to leave the episode here as it is, and then the next episode we just jump straight into spring training and then get the season started, and we'll sort of go through the season, probably the first couple of months or so, see how it goes, see how our start goes. But we will actually very quickly go into our preseason predictions to see how they believe we will do this year. And they actually have us having a worse season than we did last year, which is not very good to see. Actually, they predict the Red Sox have 100 wins, which is crazy. Oh, okay, wow. Casas is looking incredible. Marcelo Myers up. But that's not good to see. We definitely I'm hoping we do a lot better than that this year. Obviously the Astros, although what I will say though is here, they don't predict the Angels or the Astros to be really any better than we are. They predict us to all be very similar. So I'm hoping when the season does kick off, 4.07 ERA, we had a much, much better pitching pitching year, if I would say, sort of last year. So I would imagine we'd be a lot better on that side of things as well. They actually schedule us to have the highest average in the division, and the second highest home runs, especially considering last year we weren't great from the bat. So that's good to see. At least we're improving in that way. But I really do want to retain our defense. Obviously, we're much better than most of these teams here in defensively. I don't want to be behind the Angels and the Mariners, so hopefully that can sort of carry over from last year. But we'll jump over to the next episode, and I'll see you there, and we'll sort of run through spring training then. So I'll see you in the next one.